Broken Park Lutheran Church, and I'm one of the associate pastors here. Amelia Houdek is joining us as a staff member, as a pastor. She will also be an associate pastor. And following me will be Pastor Darren Vick, who's another one of our associate pastors. So our team is building, and I'm very, very excited to do this. And when Amelia asked me if I would bring a charge, she's very clear not saying message or sermon, a charge. And I said I would be absolutely delighted to. I'm one of your biggest fans. And I just think Amelia is wonderful. I think she is wonderful for our church, and she's proved it through internship, and now we're making it official, and I am so delighted to be part of this. And we just welcome Amelia as a peer, as a colleague, and we're thrilled to have you on board. It's wonderful. We've been waiting for this for a long time, so it's wonderful. And we just love all that family. You're amazing. And so I've just been asked to give a short charge. Short. Amelia said short 4 times, and I was like, what do you mean, short? I don't get it. So I just wanted to just really briefly tell the entire history of Ordination throughout the entire human history. That's what I want to do, because that's how I preach from Genesis to Revelation. And I'm reading the law and teaching the law right now. And the law, what they did was they sprinkled oil all over you, and they sprinkled blood from a burnt offering on you. And Amelia's like, don't touch the hair. No. So we're like, okay, whatever. So we'll do more New Testament. We're going to go right to the New Testament. But what it meant, and I just think it's such a profound statement, when they would ordain, in the Old Testament, ordain for service, set apart for service, they would give them special clothing, special undergarments. We're not going to go there. And then they would also give a turban, and that's why we're wearing the robes, by the way, set apart. And they would give a turban. The turban would have a medallion on it. It's a gold medallion. And I want to get one of these. You know, not the turban, but the medallion. And it says, set apart is holy unto the Lord. That's what ordination means. Set apart is holy for the Lord's purposes, for the Lord's service. We are the people of the church. We are the ones that do the work of the ministry. The special role of the ordained is to serve you so you can minister to others. That's my understanding of Ephesians 4, 11, and 12. But I digress for my short message. Okay, so I think the first ordination, besides the baptism of Jesus, the first pastor who was ordained in the New Testament was Peter. And I think it happened in the most unique setting. I wish we could be by a beach. That would be really nice right now. And they were having a fish fry. In the middle of the conversation, Jesus looked over at Peter and says, Peter, what? Do you love me? He says, yes, Lord, I love you. Then, feed my sheep. He said, Peter, do you love me? Then he said, yes, Lord, you know everything. You know I love you. And feed my sheep. Then a third time, Peter, do you love me? He says, yes. And take care of my sheep. He says, feed my lambs, take care of my sheep, take care of my lambs. Okay, so he said those 3 things. Basically what he's saying is, your love for me and your care for my flock go hand in hand. You will demonstrate your love for me. And I say today, Amelia, you will demonstrate your love for Jesus by how well you take care of the flock. I think that was Peter's ordination service. There was no robes, no pomp, no circumstance. It was the opposite. But that's the mission. That's the heart of this call. It's the heart of this call. And Peter wrote many years later in 1 Peter chapter 5. Peter wrote about that commission, I think, that Jesus gave to him today. That ordination set apart as holy. I don't even have time to go into the circumstance of Peter's call, because it wasn't because Peter was perfect. But Peter was repentant and humble before the Lord, and he loved the Lord. And that's why Peter was called, set apart. So here's what Peter says. As a fellow elder, this is my appeal to you. It's my appeal to you, Amelia. Care for the flock of God entrusted to you. Watch over it willingly, not grudgingly. Not for what you'll get out of it, but because you're eager to serve God. Don't lord it over the people assigned to your care, but lead them by your good example. And when the head shepherd comes, your reward will be a never-ending share of his glory and his honor. Then I think it continues a couple verses later, because it was too short. It says, be careful. Watch out for attacks from the devil, your great enemy. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for some victim to devour. I think that's the flock. Take a firm stand against him. Be strong in your faith. This is a charge. The charge is very simple. As a fellow elder, I say to you, Amelia, take care of the people around you. Take care of, you've been assigned flock. Broken Park Lutheran Church. Take care of them. They've been entrusted to you. Watch over them. Be watchful. Watching over them means, I think the word watch is about prayer, but it's also watchful for the enemy. Do it willingly, not grudgingly. You've already demonstrated that. Don't do it because you have to, because you want to. It's not for what you get out of it. The traps that he's laying down here are selfishness. You do it for your own sake. Greed, you do it for what you can get out of it. Power, don't lord it over people. And we see these over and over again in the church, don't we? How pastors can fall into the trap of chasing power, chasing selfish ambition, chasing greed, and falling asleep in the job. Later on he says, be careful, the enemy's going to attack. He's like a roaring lion. Right now, here's our flock, and all perimeter and all through us, he's prowling around looking to pick somebody off. And our job is to stand firm and fight against it. Lead by a good example. Lead by your love. And we're just an under-shepherd. One of the most profound things here is that you're not the end of this. You are just one of many under-shepherds under the head shepherd. When the head shepherd comes back, and he says, well done, good and faithful servant, he will give you a never-ending share of glory and honor. The rewards are great. The warnings are severe. Be careful. You'll be judged doubly hard. You'll be judged doubly hard, but you'll also have double reward in this lifetime and in eternity. But it's a high price. And I know you're willing to step up to that. So I want to pray, before it's time to pray, I want to pray a blessing over you. And I want to pray out of Psalm 23. And if we just close our eyes, I want to pray this prayer over me. We're going to lay hands on her in just a little bit. But I want to pray this over you now. Amelia, receive this blessing. Lord, you've been Amelia's shepherd. She's had everything she needs. You've given her rest in green meadows. You've led her beside peaceful streams. You have renewed her strength. You've guided her along right paths. You have been given honor through the way Amelia has lived. You have walked with Amelia through many dark valleys of death. You've always been close beside her. You've protected her. You have comforted her. You've prepared feasts for her when she's been surrounded by enemies. You've welcomed her. You've been hospitable to her. You've anointed her with oil. You've healed her body. You've blessed her. You've given her favor. Her cup has overflowed. You've pursued her with your goodness and your mercy every day of her life. And someday you'll bring her home to live with you forever. Lord, I pray this blessing over Amelia. May she provide for the needs of her sheep. May she lead them beside peaceful streams and green meadows. May she strengthen others as she's been strengthened by you. May she guide others the same way she's been guided by you. May she bring great honor to your name. May she guide others through dark valleys. May she protect and comfort them. May she provide feasts for those who are in great battle. May her ministry be marked by hospitality as she welcomes many into the kingdom. May she bring healing to many. And may she bless many as she anoints them with oil. And may many people's cups overflow because of Amelia's ministry to them. And may she pursue people with goodness and with mercy. And may many spend eternity with you in heaven because of Amelia's ministry to them. And all God's people said, amen. Bless you.